Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy.
You gonna finish it?
Fucked you up, didn't I?
No. Have at it. I'm gonna let you run the show today.
I am your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
And I'm the motherfucker that does all the work, Justin.
You're not wrong.
And I am your host, Justin.
No, go ahead. You got it from me.
No, you can't start it off and not finish it, motherfucker.
God damn it. This podcast was created to fucking dick.
This is your fault.
I didn't say shit. Why was it my fault?
Yes, it is.
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire... I should give you a voice. We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
Our show may not be suitable for young children, but neither are our D&D games. Yeah.
I had it good. I just stumble a lot.
As for having it memorized, you'd be surprised how much I forget shit like my own birthday. So don't count on it getting it memorized ever.
I will not memorize that shit.
So I have a quick question. Any of you patrons that are watching, has anybody watched the special video of our game, our Patreon game over at Shooticon at all? And if so, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I know the audio quality wasn't super great because it was over multiple devices as batteries were dying. Because we didn't make sure everything was charged. But
Speak for yourself.
Nathan, you let me down, bro. So anyways, our show is brought to you by our generous Patreon donors. We have a new gold patron.
We do.
His name is Alan Parker. Woo! Hey, Camden, I should send this link to Camden.
Ka-ching!
I totally forgot. Oh, shit. Sorry, bro. I can't. My bad, dude. My bad.
Blows horn.
Auga!
No, so because he does our editing, I gave him access to like a lot of the patron like rewards, kind of as compensation because I can't fucking pay nobody yet. But I forget to send him the link.
I just know the joke for me for the longest has been, you pay me in Surge.
Ooh, I like that. There we go. I'll send that to him. Anyway, so let's go back up here so we can see everyone's chat. So yes, welcome. What was his name?
Alan Parker.
Pacquiao?
My notes are gone. Hang on, I got this. So welcome, Alan Parker, to the elite of the elite. You are the best of the best of the best.
Around.
I was actually going for the Men in Black line.
Men in Black, yeah.
Yeah, see, he got it. Look at you.
I told the voice to the Cry Kid.
Yeah, whatever. So welcome to the crew, and thank you.
Captain America over here. The best, sir, with honors.
Yeah, it is. My memory is garbage, Nathan. You're not wrong. Sam, I have sent dozens of emails trying to find and spent a lot of time on the internet trying to find a way to give him like honorary like representation. As of right now, I've been unable to find that. So if somebody does figure that out, please let me know. Because I think that would be really cool, and it would make it a lot easier on me than trying to remember to send him shit individually. That being said, thank you, Alan Parker, for supporting our show. It really means a lot to us, and hopefully you will be enjoying this live stream with us. I do not see him in the live chat.
Yet.
Anyway, so if you don't know, Patreon is a membership. Patreon is a membership platform for creators to build relationships with their most loyal of fans, known as patrons. It's a tier-based reward system that allows you to support your favorite creators for as little as $1 a month.
$1.
In exchange, you're offered an exclusive content based on the tier that you select. So if you've got a little extra cash flowing around and you think our show is worth more than $10 and you want some of the extra benefits that come with it, you can do that. We have a very large collection. I think a large collection for the 3 tiers that we have. You can watch our show live. You can come to our hangout when the link works. And hang out and chit chat with us. We do monthly custom tokens that you can either print off or add to your digital games, as well as Brandon does a free art commission every month, which is awesome, by the way. And you need to be posting those to the Patreon page so everyone can see them outside of just the Facebook.
So then people will pay you to actually do that for them.
Yes, because you want to advertise your business, right?
I know some people contact me about it, trying to get
nice
possible things going on.
I don't know if you know, but his you can actually get commissions from Brandon. He does full color art for $20. and then everything goes down from there. That is an amazing price for the quality art that he does, personally. So don't jack it up after I just said that, okay?
Yeah. And actually, as an apology for coming out late with May's tokens,
Yeah.
this month's tokens is going to be Patron's Choice.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
This month's tokens.
What? No.
I'm going to make 6 slots, and the first 6 people to tell me what they want is what's going to go in there.
You're going to regret that because the first thing that's going to be on there is like dildo or something. Because there's always Nate. Or not Nate. Edward. New York Tater. Nothing vulgar. Sam says...
So bar wench, got it.
Sam says he doesn't have any cash lying around, but our show is definitely worth it. Well, we appreciate that, Sam. Can we get that in writing? Oh, he did. He texted. We can copy and paste that. So yes.
Like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So definitely, we want to give a special thanks to all our patrons who join our show. Thank you so much. It looks like we lost a watcher, so likely somebody's going to unsubscribe to Patreon right now. They just came in for the first time. So
Hey, nope.
thank you guys all for your support. It really warms our genitals. I probably should say something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really means a lot to us, and we appreciate everything because it really makes us want to keep doing the show because there's a lot of work that goes into it, and it's easy to want to quit sometimes.
This is just getting worse.
What did it say now?
Each individual token is a separate nip.
That's funny. So, thanks for joining us today here at Crit Academy Studios, where everything's made up and your rolls don't matter.
That's right. Your rules like a noble without an honor guard.
Yeah, I never. And I really feel like that fits with the theme we got going on today.
That's good.
We're really excited for our episode. We got a lot of great stuff for you today. But before we get to all that, we like to start off our show by giving away wonderful prizes to our listeners. If you don't know, you can head on over to critacademy.com, and there's a little subscription box. You just type in your email address and get added to our emailing to be entered to win one of 3 prizes that we give out every single week.
Neat.
Our first giveaway is from Goblinstone. Ian, who is our winner?
I don't know. It's not on my sheet.
I knew that. Ian, it is Marjorie Shuag. What does that say? Mage Shuag?
Risug. Mage Risug.
Can I buy a vowel?
No.
There's lots of vowels.
There's lots of vowels in there, but it still doesn't. It's MAGERISSUEOG. Brandon, who's our winner today?
Our winner for Goblinstone's adventure is Mage Risug. That's RISSUG.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside,
I feel my Comor flopping around.
you gotta take a stand.
Dabbing. We just lost any little bit of self-respect that we had.
Yeah,
We have self-respect.
I'm going to go home and cut my arm off. now.
Nathan says he wants boobies. Okay, that's fantastic.
And I'm mouthing Space Dandy.
And Baltic Space Dandy.
To be fair, there was that Hooters parody called Boobies.
That's funny. A separate nip?
We were talking about this earlier.
Hey,
just on my
if
own
you
time.
do commission me, it can be anonymous.
That's true. And he does do... No, we're not going to advertise that. No.
No.
So congratulations to Mage Isuag. If you enjoy the adventure, please head on over to gomstone.com and leave him a review. Let him know what you like, what you didn't like, and help him improve his product moving forward. Tell him Crit Academy sent you.
They like that.
So we got a really exciting episode for you today. We have our Let's Talk About Blake segment. We have a question from Brian Sines in regards to Eldritch Blast. Our main topic is Cloak and Dagger Adventures and how you can be the best around.
Stabbity, stab, stab, die!
No. And then, of course, we have our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment where we bring new and reusable material for you.
Try again.
You're only reinforcing Sam right now.
Sam, yeah.
did you say?
You went to negative self-respect long ago.
Where was I at? Oh, and then, of course, we have our fourth and final segment. I hate you both. And we have our then we have our fourth and final segment, our honor tips and tricks, where we bring new and reusable material for both players and DMs. But before all that, we have In the Realm, where we talk about a little bit what's going on in our life. Ian, what's going on in your realm?
Hell.
Hey, nobody cares about work. Talk about something else.
I'm not talking about work.
Okay, I'm just saying. Like Vegeta, I'm just saying.
I was going to say vagina.
What's going on in your realm, Ian?
Well, I played my monthly Starfinder game this past Saturday. That was fun.
Your what?
Monthly Starfinder game, which we're going to be playing 3 times this month.
That's Pathfinder and the space, right?
Yeah.
Is it more exciting than Star Trek?
It depends on the group you're with.
So no. Got it.
And I also tried the EVE Online for the first time this past week, too. I'm still in the beginner section.
EVE Online?
EVE Online.
Isn't that tutorial like 5 days long?
It feels like it.
I couldn't make it to the game because the tutorial was so long.
Jeez.
It is a long tutorial.
Yeah, and then people can like rob you and take your stuff.
That's actually why I was interested, because obviously the game encourages people to troll and attack other players and just be like the worst thing you can be online. But they just released new expansion material where you get into a different dimension, and it actually creates a dungeon just for you. For the other players can't touch you when you're inside it.
Oh wait, so you're interested now because they created a place for you to hide?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an
That's
anti-troll leverage.
So Brandon.
So Sam says you went into negative self-respect long ago, and Ed says, as far as I can tell, they never had any. This is sad.
Brandon, what is going on in your realm?
Not much. Looking for work right now. I
I thought you had work.
I did. I got fired.
Oh.
Who fired you?
Your wife.
Oh no!
And it was so sad too, because she said, "Hey, step in my office." And I told her I don't want to hear those words. I said that straight to her. It's like, "No, then come step in Katie's office."
I don't want to hear that in here.
I stepped in, and she's like, "Now, Katie is supposed to be here to help me, but she's not coming, so I have to do this by myself, and it's so hard to do."
Yeah,
she's like, "We gotta let you go." I'm sorry.
She loves you.
She didn't want to, did she?
No, and I don't blame her. It's been hard for me to be able to keep up with the orders, especially with summer coming along, and it's just stacking and stacking. It was just too hard for me to keep up.
Is this the first time she's fired you?
No.
I'm sorry, bro.
This is different though.
Well, I'm just wondering how long before she fires me from being her husband.
This was a tell you, I was fired. This is a good firing. She's like, okay, you did your best, but the boss is saying that it's not exactly to
not
our
where you need to be.
expectations, so we're gonna let you go. Back then, it was when I was doing the thing with Johnny Allman, and I was pretty much just fucking off. So it's like, you need to go.
Yeah.
So that was a bad fire because I was an idiot. But this time, I actually tried my best to do what I could, and it just wasn't enough.
good enough. Well, I am sorry.
And shit happens. But looking for work now. I applied for Safe Light. I'm thinking about reapplying for next year. I don't know.
Well, apparently GM's hiring a lot right now.
Chrysler too.
Thank Christ, I've been meaning to get with Gabe about that. Cause
Yeah,
he
well,
put that
meaning to
post.
is not a job profession, bro.
No. Yeah. That'd be great if it was.
You'd be a master.
And on a lighter note, I ordered a bunch of new cubes before I got fired. So
give you time to master them.
Yeah.
That's funny. Not that you got fired, but that you're like, ooh, look, a package for me.
If I could do that, I would.
We could juggle.
Yep. Oh, and I also finally got my first shipment of the Starfinder miniatures that I kickstarted.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And your turn's already over, so.
I just remembered it though.
Just
Camden, edit it.
Okay, so.
But I
Justin-
am sorry. Is there anything good?
Yeah.
And
He did say good. Rubik's
I
cubes.
got a bunch of cubes.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a good thing. More like a surprise. Shit, I just wasted money.
Yeah. Well, actually, in the meantime, until I can get work, I am doing construction with my in-law.
Oh,
so
that's wonderful.
So that's something at least.
Well, I'm glad.
It's not bad. I made $200 in 2 days, so
Wow.
it's like that's not so bad. I'm gonna just keep doing this.
Yeah.
But it
It'll-
sucks.
it'll-
It's
it'll
really
help with that,
It's
too.
really fucking hot.
Yeah. I
You
should
shall
do
sweat that weight
construction. Yeah, I should do construction. Maybe I'd be not fat.
You're not wrong.
What's going on in your realm, Justin?
I'm glad you asked, Brandon. So I actually. What have I been? I'm sick today, so that's kind of terrible. Yeah, that's not gonna help. It's nothing you can get, I don't think. But I woke
That's
up
what
with
she
like
said?
bad pains in my back and my neck, my head, my neck, my throat kind of is a little scratchy now, and it's been kind of miserable. I was not going to go to work this morning, but I decided, well, I'm already up, might as well go to work and get paid to do nothing instead of sitting at home and not get paid to do nothing. So that was it. I've been playing Guild Wars with some of our patrons. Camden's is playing with me right now, and that's pretty cool.
That reminds me, I still have all 5 of my sick days for the entire year.
That's not very much.
Well,
How long you work there?
well, let me put it this way. We get like 5 sick days every year.
Uh-huh.
Last year, I ended the year with 5.
Oh, okay, that's fantastic. So anyways, yes, so I've been playing a little bit of Guild Wars 2. Actually, thanks to Camden, who took a lot of the time that I was spending every day was editing. And he has taken on that responsibility. So I've replaced that with more research and new projects that I want to do to bring rewards to our patrons, including stuff like potentially doing like a flavor of the month, where we kind of discussed just a few minutes ago in our monthly Patreon patron pals, where I do like a professional draw up of entirely reflavoring of a class. From a mechanic standpoint, it might be a mage, but everything else and flavor wise, it's a mage with a hand cannon, and stuff like that. Something similar to what we did with our the Barbarian episode with Troy on it. Something similar to that. So we got a lot of likes from that, so that kind of was driving that, as well as I got some really good comments on some stuff to do with the fans. But if you are interested in hanging out with me, a couple times a week, I just sitting around and play Guild Wars now, or Rocket League. Guild Wars is free for the base game, so there's a lot of free content. Just come kick it, roll up a thing, and we'll go destroy some players, or more likely get steamrolled together, because the PvP is kind of challenging at first. But so
Hey,
yeah,
Justin
What?
from Sam. Hey, Justin, update on the one-shot campaign being written. One play test. Anything new?
The seafaring one.
The seafaring one.
So two things actually. I'm glad you asked that. So apparently, the name of the adventure that I'm writing is called I forgot the name. What is it? I changed it like 5 times. I don't remember the name of it now. The Rise of Damodar. Apparently, Damodar is the name of a character in one of the stupid D&D movies. So I don't know if I should change his name now. Because it's a name of it's an alternate name of Vishnu, right? And so that's where I came up with it. But I just happened to be scrolling through Twitter, and freaking Aram from God's Fall is dressed up as Damodar. I'm like, well, who the hell is that? Turns out it's one of the guys from the stupid movie. Somebody should burn all those things or bury them like they did with the E.T. game. But yes,
But that makes them worth money.
So as far as progress with that, the maps are almost done. All the NPCs are done, or at least that I have currently planned in the adventure. We are currently running a test run of it, which again is on Wednesday as of this recording.
What
is
time?
our second one? 6, I think, is what we said. 6:30ish, somewhere around
I
there.
knew it was coming up. I just didn't remember when.
So we're playtesting it internally first right now. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I change HP a lot when I run a game, and I haven't run one with like the raw stats and HP of a monster in a long time, and I didn't realize how long it takes. I'm big on changing that because I like to keep pace. I like to have a certain pace, and I forgot how much it slows down when you are trying to track all that stuff and keep it within what the book says for testing reasons. So that was kind of a letdown.
I get to play with Thork again.
Yeah, Thork. But it went great. It was really fun. I think all the players had fun, had a good time. They got tossed into the water and dragged, and I'm pretty sure one of them lost their weapons as they got stuck to the shield of one of the Kuatoa guys. But he kind of swimmed off with it. So.
Ermi laughed at Thork for that.
Yeah, so it's coming. The problem that I'm running into right now is that. It was Nathan's character. His hammer was stolen too. So it was your weapon and Nathan.
No. It was his weapon, not mine.
Oh, okay. Thork is his character.
Yes.
What was yours?
Ermi.
Oh, I'm thinking Thor, which is your other character, right? But anyway, yeah. So he lost his hammer, so that was really great. And we're playtesting it. It's going really well. The only other thing that I would say about it is that because I'm trying to finish up the Unearthed, the UTT, the Unearthed Tips and Tricks book, I've got almost all that is written right now. It's going through editing and formatting right now, and then I got to put pictures and stuff. So I'm kind of working on both those things simultaneously because I can't focus on one thing for too long. So I'm kind of going back and forth between them. So they're both coming a little slow, but we're making a lot of progress on both. That was a very long-winded answer, and I'm sorry. I just wasted 20 minutes of everyone's goddamn time.
What?
So I lost my hammer.
I lost the murder my ham.
All right, so so thank you for asking about that. All right, Brandon, if they'd like to visit other realms, I think that'll do it for In the Realms. Brandon, if they'd like to visit other realms, how can they do that?
Oh, they can go to critacademy.com and they can find a link to Audible. Where did I do that wrong?
No.
Oh, god damn it! They can go to
It sounded good.
They can go to critacademy.com where we have a link to Audible, and there you can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. As long as you go to audibletrial.com/critacademy, just sign up for the free trial, get a free book, and quit.
Yeah. That's awesome. Sam asked, okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you asking about it. I guess we don't actually talk about it on the show all that often, so that was a good update, so thank you for that. Once we get past our testing, it'll go to several listeners who have contacted me. I think I got like a list of at least 10 to 15 people who want to play test it.
That's good.
So hopefully it's going to come back with, oh, this is great, not what is this fucking garbage you just sent me?
Okay. Ooh, maybe in the ancient counter section, maybe put in the personal saying, okay, for all the enemies, cut their health in half, but double their damage.
Yeah, I lower health, increase damage because I like to fuck with my players like that. Anyways, so
You know, one of these days, Audible's going to listen to what we're saying. They're going to be like, we don't want to be associated with you no more.
They don't care. we did finally get another paycheck from them, so that was fantastic.
Oh, that's good.
I
We
know.
got a 6th listener.
Hey, welcome!
Hello.
Listener number 6.
It was probably Camden.
Camden, is that you?
Anyway, so
Yay.
so that'll do it for In the Realm. You already went through that, so I don't know why I'm saying that again.
Yeah.
Before we move into our moving on to our next topic, we have Let's Talk About Blank. Now, this is a segment where we answer listener-submitted questions. We have a question from Brian Signs. Okay, so... Oh, hang on. Okay, so... Eldritch Blast. At a spot across the room. Would it hit an invisible target in the line?
Yes.
No.
No.
What?
Why do you think it would?
Because they're invisible. Doesn't mean they're just not there.
Okay, that's the right line of thinking, but the wrong verbiage. So, Eldritch Blast is not a line effect. Alright, so the actual ruling would be attack with disadvantage.
I actually agree with that.
Because you can't see the opponent doesn't mean you can't smell them, you can't hear them, thump, thump, thump. You can guess their general location and you can hit them.
Smell them.
But it
it
wouldn't
stinks right in that direction.
it wouldn't be a line effect because per the rules, Eldritch Blast is not a line spell. But you would make an attack at disadvantage. Period. I think that's no.
No.
Sam's wrong. He agrees with Brandon.
Well, what if it's that they're not trying to hit the invisible creature, but they're trying to hit a visible wall?
I would still tell them to make attack roll because that's what the spell calls for.
And the DC of the wall will probably be a success. And it's not the invisible creature's fault that he's in the way of the bolt.
Well, I think what he's trying to say, though, is you're not trying to aim for the invisible creature because you don't know it's there. It just happens to be in the path that the bolt's traveling to.
It's like a
That's
bird
that's a
running
train
into
of
a plane.
thought, which I totally understand. But
I agree that that's a train of thought, but per the rules,
Yeah.
it should be disadvantage
Per the
on the
rules.
attack roll.
Suck it.
So, that being said,
but you're not
what
really,
you could say is there's a rule for cover, right?
Yeah.
You could argue that the wall has cover from the invisible target, right? So if it hits the target's AC, it's going to hit the target instead of the wall, right?
Yep.
I don't know the exact rules on hitting behind cover, but there is an optional rule in there for hitting cover,
Yeah.
including other players and objects. So
Yeah. And keep in mind, too, it's a game at the end of the day, and the rules are flexible as long as you have fun, so...
yes.
And as long as you can come up with a logical answer for why, do what you do.
Yes, but from a raw standpoint, it's disadvantage on
Right.
attack roll.
Of course.
Period. That being said, I can see an argument made for both.
Yeah.
So, honestly, you're right.
Yeah.
I hope do you want Camden to cut that out so he can repeat it back to you over and over? Because that probably won't happen again. You're right, Ian. Right?
Yeah. That's going to go into the intro.
So,
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's true. But that's only if the broken clock moves.
No,
If the broken clock doesn't move, it's never right.
but it's right twice a day for.
It's right twice a day if it doesn't move.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
At midnight, it's
No, it
right.
isn't.
At
No,
noon,
no,
it's still
it's
right.
not. A clock that doesn't work is never right.
It's right twice a day.
No, it isn't.
Don't fuck with me. I know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
He's right. He's right if it's an alarm clock with digital numbers. It's a
all
best
right.
clock, not so much.
So that'll do it for our Let's Talk About Blank segment. Brian Signs, we hope we answered your question. If we didn't, it's their fault because I actually had a nice solid answer and they actually swayed me away from my own answer. So I blame them. So send a letter to the complaint department addressed to these bastards and tell them that they just confused you with $5 stats.
Yeah, that's money for that. It's not for you.
I got something to tell you guys after we're done here. Remind me because I will forget.
But to say,
I will forget.
Okay.
might want to write that down.
Yes. So moving on to our main topic, I'm actually really.
Money.
Actually, write that down so we don't forget to ask him so he doesn't forget.
Well, I didn't say it had anything to do with money, assholes.
Ask God King.
I like that. Why are you writing on my notepad?
Because
Why don't you get your own goddamn notepad?
it has 60 more pages. Quit being a bitch.
Man, shut up. I'll fucking whack you with my notepad. Right in the head. All right, so that'll do it for our Let's Talk About Blank segment. Moving on to our main topic. I'm really excited for this one. We're going to be talking about Cloak and Dagger Adventures. Anybody that's watched those Ocean 11 movies and only Ocean 11 because the other ones sucked, or those old heist movies where it's all about getting in, getting the jewels, and getting out alive. Those
Blue Streak.
Blue Streak is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, can't recommend it enough. Funniest shit in the world.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. I haven't seen that. Is that any good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check it
It's
out.
directed by Edgar Wright.
That doesn't mean shit to me. But apparently that I need to watch it. Oh, I'm getting dirty looks from Ian now.
Okay. He's the guy who made Shaun the Dead. He's the guy who made Hot Fuzz.
Haven't seen either of those.
What?
I feel like I'm losing cool points every time I say I haven't seen that.
Possibly one of the nerdiest actors ever are in those
Directors.
movies.
Directors or actors?
Yes.
Anyways, whatever.
Well,
Not the
yeah.
point. The point is that... are you okay now?
Yes.
You let the demons escape?
Maybe.
Okay. Everyone loves those types of adventures, and unfortunately, the most common adventure is kill the monster, loot the room.
Kill the weapon. Kill the weapon.
Enemy of the state. Enemy of the. I don't know what that says.
Says Steely.
But Enemy of the State was not really what I'm talking about. But anyways, so those types of adventures are really interesting because they aren't all about stab and run away or stab and kill everything in sight. They require a very particular set of skills. But come on, that was good, right?
I believe Shadowrun may have prepped me for this type of scenario.
Oh, good. And I was counting on that. So we'll see how that goes. Because I've got some notes here, but you're going to have to elaborate on some stuff.
The good news is, for those of you who, well, I should say this. For those of you who play Shadowrun and try to do high stuff in D&D, the bad news is you don't have access to the internet. But the good news is your enemies don't have access to the internet.
Jesus. So for Cloak and Dagger Adventures, the simplest example that I can think of is, and pretty common one, is the evil baron in the mansion needs to be slain, right? And due to his security, you can't just barge right in, right? You can't just kick down the door and walk in. You'll be overrun. Whether there's too many of them, they just outright outnumber you, or if they're just too strong to engage directly.
Or
right?
they're high-paid mercenaries. They're too good for you.
That's a good movie to go off of. Hitman.
No, it wasn't. Anyways, stop distracting me, goddammit.
That doesn't take much.
I hate you all.
No, I was saying that's another good example that I've seen before.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen
Is-
it. What
I was-
happens in that?
I was watching Jesse's brother playing Hitman.
Oh, yeah, that makes
So
sense.
One of the simple missions was, you're in this tux, you're too obvious. Take down a guard with no noticing, steal their equipment, get to the head honcho, lure him away, snap his neck, and just leave.
Yeah, because what happens if you get noticed?
The whole mission fails. You have to start over again.
Right, but they don't give you a logical reason why that happens, do they? That it's too big of the place gets, locked down and you can't escape and they're just going to die?
Yep.
Yeah.
or just 20 guys appear out of nowhere and bust a cap in your ass.
That's more Metal Gear Solid.
Well, whatever. Anyways, so in that example, that's a pretty straightforward mission. But in something like this, there should be additional. There should be a secondary goal. Okay, your goal is to sneak into the evil baron's mansion and slay him, but one of the other players might have to also secure a document.
Or swap documents.
That's a good one. I like that. And if you're to slay this guy, is there a particular technique that needs to be done? Does it have to be something far more subtle than just stabbing him and leaving a bloody corpse? Does it have to be a poison? Does it have to be, make it look like a suicide? He hung himself. Those are the types of things that should be coming into play in an adventure that's all about sneaky.
Ooh.
And cloak and dagger stuff.
Stuff is bowed into a bag of holding and throw that into the fireplace.
And the other thing is are these options something that are dictated to them by the person, the employer, the person giving them the quest, or is it something that they get to choose? Does the person say, "Oh, I don't care how you kill him, whatever. Okay, we're gonna burn the whole place down. Come on, Pookie, let's burn this motherfucker down," Or is it okay? Well, let's just go in and snap his neck and leave.
So tiny onions like flavor crystals.
They burst in your mouth when you bite into them. Does the person want a sense of irony? Maybe the employer in him wants you to poison his favorite meal, right? They think that's the best way to do it, so that becomes your mission. Do they ask you to bring back the head as proof that you succeeded?
Ooh, and do you have a deadline?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh.
Do you have a deadline? Because all that stuff really comes super important now.
I mean, let's face it. If you have we need it done by tomorrow, or a week, or even a month, or maybe a month or two, that gives you some wiggle room and some options for some prep work.
Yeah, and if you guys in the audience there, if you are our Crit Nation, our patrons there, if you guys have any ideas that we don't discuss, please feed them to us, because I'm sure everyone's run this in their own different way, and I love more options. The other thing is to consider is, okay, once they succeed, what do they have? What happens when they succeed? Is it they just have to leave? Are they supposed to do something else? You mentioned swap documents. Maybe they have to plant evidence. Maybe they have to look like somebody else was responsible for said issue, right? Said slaying. So we're here to take this guy out, but we got to make guy A wants us to kill guy C, and guy A also wants us to make it look like guy B did it, right?
Yeah.
So then you now have two missions. You have to go and collect the information from guy B that can point the murder to him when you go to kill guy C. I probably should give these guys names instead of just A, B, and C, but whatever.
It works.
That's how I do it in my notes. Guy A, guy B, guy C. It's up to you guys to keep up with that.
There's Camden.
There he is.
He's tardy to the party. Sorry, guys. It's that new job he'd be cracking up on. Hugs, not drugs, fellas.
Something else is the communication lines that occur outside the player's control or ears. A mark can be killed by the player, and the person who asked will likely find out without evidence from the player. That's from Sam.
That's good.
You know
That's
what's fucked
interesting.
up? You were giving me a dirty look until I said it was Sam.
No, it was you were talking like this, which is
I'm
not appealing.
Wearing my glasses, I can't really see.
Well, I can blow it up, I think.
You got 7 listeners. Hello, number 7. Holy crap.
Does that help?
Yeah, a lot.
There, now do you want to say what Sam said again? And not so robotic-y voice?
This is from Sam. Something else is the communication lines that occur outside the player's control or ears. A mark can be killed by the player, and the person who asked will likely find out without evidence from the player.
Ooh.
That really helps.
That's really nice.
Yeah, because you guys can't see it, but he made the text line go from that to that.
And you're like, wow!
The other thing to consider when you're doing this type of adventure, the purpose is stealth. That's the goal, right? To be undetected. Once again, coming back to maybe there's too many monsters or too many enemies, or they're just outright too strong. Because you can do a successful stealth mission where the guards and monsters are above the player's level.
Yep.
It becomes a little bit more challenging, but then let's say you got a group that is all rogues. That's the challenge they want, right? Because you know that in a normal encounter, most of the time You know that the guards are their passive perception's not going to be super high alert, though they might have advantage or something because of them being on high alert all the time. But anyways, the purpose is stealth and to remain undetected. So if you're the DM running this, it's important to describe stealth in many different ways. You're not just thinking of stealth, the stealth check, which I think is what comes to everyone's mind when you start, right?
Or, if you have time, get a job as a butler at the place.
Be there prior to it happening. Is it the guards are coming in? It's like, we're on high alert. Oh, how you doing?
Hi, Jeff.
Just shifty eyes. They don't suspect a thing.
Oh.
It's like that picture I saw from Toys R Us. It's got all Marvel heroes, and it's got Batman in the background. And someone took a picture and said, I've been here for 68 days. They still don't know I'm here.
So that's actually pretty important. So we'll start with the roles, right? When people are doing stealth and checks, if you're doing something and running an adventure, you really have to engage the person who's doing the stealth checks. They roll 23. Okay, hey, their passive perception of the enemy is 11. Make sure you're describing them pinching themselves up against the wall and dashing between, shadowy parts on the wall, and you see a guard walk by and you dive into the bush, or you gradually peek your head around a corner, and as the guard is passing you, you're walking along, you're circling the outside of the tree or a barrel, or you really want to make sure you engage that aspect
The barrel.
of
The
how they're
D&D
doing
version
it.
of a cardboard box.
You don't ever want to
What
say
was that noise?
you don't always just want to say, okay, you're stealthy, or you think you're stealthy. That's my favorite line. If they roll, you think you're stealthy.
And then when they fail, you go, you're not stealthy. You're going, clang, clang, clang.
But the point is you really want to engage all those different things. But straight up stealth checks aren't the only option. You guys just touched on a really good one, the disguise kit.
I wasn't talking disguises at all. He goes talking about disguises.
Oh, you're just talking about getting a job there?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, that's some real deep shit right there. Like, what are you doing with your downtime? I'm going to get a job there. That's a good one. I like that. I didn't think of that.
Suspected. Actually, that was in a movie, Law-Abiding Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just went and got a job there?
The guy that was put in jail in the movie found a way to get out of jail, and he's going in and out, whatever. But this place that he plans on blowing up, he was an employee there for like months, so people just don't suspect him of
Don't
anything.
suspect him.
And while they're letting him through, the metal detector's like, hey, how's it going? Hey, Rob. He's going and setting up bombs underneath his console.
So that's a really good one. So I was thinking disguises, but that's a good one. Plan this stuff out as the DM or as the player that you can come up with these ideas. If you talk to your DM, say, hey, okay, we're going to do this. Is there a time limit that we have to do? Well, they give you 3 weeks. Okay, well, maybe that's not as reasonable, right?
Challenge accepted.
But if there's no time limit, you can say, well, I think the first thing we should do is try to get jobs in the area and case the place. You know what I mean?
I get a job in the area.
The other thing I want to talk about is the disguises, right? Wearing disguises is a very strong tool for sneaking around. You can walk right in the open with a good disguise. What's this?
I'm telling him, hold on a second.
Or if you're a spellcaster, you can change your disguise on the fly.
Yes, bringing something like a glamour spell like Alter Self.
Yep.
So those types of things can become super critical into this. Maybe you need to...
I just thought about the bird that's always up there on the wall is actually a druid spying.
That's a great example. Now, as players, it's up to you guys to come up with these sort of things, too. There's no reason a DM's going to say, no, you can't do that. Now, if it's the same bird landing in the same spot repeatedly, then they might get a little suspicious. But if you're making an effort to hide around and just get close enough to listen...
But the flip side of it is a crow. That does seem like something a crow would do.
Caw, motherfucker, caw. That's the Samuel L. Jackson crow. Caw, motherfucker, caw. Anyway.
Oh, you don't know what happened? Let's go through that again. Call, bang, fuck, I'm dead.
So some of the other ways you can help remain in stealth is bribery. A lot of those guards in those jobs don't get paid diddly, and they are quick to turn on for a couple gold pieces. And I know this is something that is used more often, right? People always ask, or isn't you? I don't feel like it's used as often as it should. People always say, "Well, what can I do with all this gold I got?" You can bribe an entire city to follow you.
Great. Nothing about that one scene in John Wick when he sneaks up behind the guard. Hey, Tom. Oh, hey, John. You lost weight. I have. You might want to leave, just so you know. Okay.
So that
need to
comes.
see those
So
movies.
if you go and make an effort to meet with the different guards in the tavern and bribe them, say, "Hey, Either maybe you dig up some dirt, or you just say, hey, look, honestly, I have a real problem with this guy in here, and you can give me access to him, and I'm willing to pay you 3 years' salary.
Okay.
And there's in most cases, there's no reason why they wouldn't accept that. Now, as a DM, you could call for a persuasion roll or a bluff check, I think, a deception check specifically, right? To do this, or if a player thought of it to me, I would probably give him advantage or just let him roll with it if it was a logical reason.
I think it'd be persuasion.
Yeah.
What does high-level stealth rolls mean? Let's say someone succeeds on stealth roll of a 20 DC. How do you feel a player rolling 25 versus a player rolling 30? Or something particularly high for their level?
Okay, this comes from Sam. So personally, it would all be in the description of how they are stealthy. So let's say you get the DC is 20 and somebody gets a 25 in your example.
Good night, Nathan.
Night, Nathan.
Bye, Nathan.
Good night, Nathan.
Thanks for
Sleep
hanging
well.
out with us.
Also, kill you in the morning.
So what I would do is all be in the description. It might be something a little more common as, let's say you're inside of a a keep, and you're dashing between the barrels, and you see a couple guards kind of look this way, you duck in, and you, as soon as they pop up, you swiftly jump into the barrel and stick your legs out the bottom and start crawling around. It's very obvious and not as graceful, but it could be stealthy enough to get by some people. While the other guy who rolled a 30 might jump into the shadows and then skimmy up the wall like Jackie Chan and run along the top barrier in the shadow of the light.
Or cast reverse gravity is crawling along the ceiling.
So I think when it comes down to those different roles, it really comes down to how cool you want the scene to be. You could do one of those ones where they walk up behind the person, and they mimic the person's walking as they're going. You know what I'm talking about? Like in a cartoon or something. Something comical like that would be really good for a high roll, because then the player is just taunting the enemy and the enemy doesn't know it. So those are the types of things that I think I would probably do, but it would definitely depend on the setting. You could also be where the one person might say they give a stealth check and they've got thaumaturgy or some other ability where they can douse fire or make it dimmer, so they could make the light flicker in their favor. The player didn't say that, but that would be some flavor that I personally would add on to it.
And there's always the good old-fashioned distraction method.
Distraction? Well, before we get onto that, because that's the next bullet point, Sam also asked, how do you determine how long a given roll lasts? He says, how long do you let a given roll last? Let's say someone is sneaking into a castle and there are 4 different possible viewpoints to stealth past. How many rolls would you call for? I think that would depend. If there were guards stationed at each of those points, it would require an individual stealth check probably from each of them personally, because there's active guards. If they rolled exceptionally well, I might require them less rolls than that and just say, okay, you got a 30, right? 30 is really high. You got a 30, so I'm just going to say that passes by the first couple, but you're still going to have to roll additional as you're stealthing, because when they're sneaking through, we're going to keep using the keep or a mansion as an example, because those are kind of the most common ones. If they're sneaking, the environment is changing.
Yep.
So while you succeeded walking on the stone, it turned into a creaky floor. The stealth check's not going to apply to that. You know what I mean? But
Okay, I just remembered one time where there was no logical reason for why a character in one game I played had a stealth roll, but I rolled so freaking high the DM couldn't say no either.
That's wrong. DM can always say no. I would say you think you're stealthy. Then you get shot in the head.
I mean, it was like the D&D equivalent, you can't walk through an open ballroom during a dance. I roll a 50. What?
Okay, so a good example of... Okay, so I wouldn't say they couldn't do it, but it would become more like the Assassin's Creed guy, right?
Yep.
Where you're blending in, and you're swiftly
my rogue
moving
suit.
with them. Or your rogue suit. Well, so those are types of things that the DM would have to weigh, like giving you disadvantage for something so obvious,
Okay, I roll a 45.
Because being stealth doesn't make you invisible, just so you know.
No. But I've also often told people, okay, just because you rolled stealthy does not necessarily mean that they don't see you as much as you're less noticeable than the other guy.
Yes. So, okay, so that actually leads great into our next point. Stealth doesn't have to be just a plain stealth. It could also be in the form of a distraction. You're talking about walking through the ballroom.
Yep.
If you throw a glass high into the air and it lands over there, odds are onto a server and they knock over a bunch of dishes. Odds are everyone's going to look that way.
Yep.
So that could be an example of a stealth check. You distracted everyone, and then you ran this way while they were all looking over here.
Or the bard rolls really high on his performance check in the square that's outside the mansion.
Yeah, so the bard is creating a distraction, might even grant advantage to the stealth check for the person sneaking in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So distractions is a really good one. In a lot of the movies and the games, there's a lot of misdirection that just happens with stupid stuff, like balloons and noises.
Hey, guard up there on the wall! Have any requests?
So those sorts of things are what are interesting, right? Can you think of any examples right off the top of the dome there of good distractions?
Yeah, thaumaturgy. Like, if you're in a place where magic is not common, and these hallways are lit by torches, and you see guards walking along, and you use thaumaturgy to make one of these flames burst into this blue or green or uncommon color, like I think he was saying earlier. It's not a common thing to go look over and be like, hey, what's that about?
That's an odd shade of orange.
That's an odd shade of orange. That's blue. No, it's just a weird looking orange.
Look at that bard's dress. It's beautiful blue and black. Really? I thought it's white and gold.
Oh my god.
I
can't resist.
Yeah. Wow, that's old. That was a couple years ago, right? It's purple.
It's purple.
So when you're thinking of stealth, don't think of it. Think of it in a much broader sense. Not that they're just clearly being sneaky. Obviously, putting on a disguise is in glamour is a little bit different, but for the most part, I would classify these all a form of stealth.
Okay. I mean, the example I always give the being less noticeable is like, it's not that they don't see your rogue, it's just they know them way less than the guy with the big sword, that the wizard casting fireballs.
No, we're not going to start, Ed, we're not going to start the Yanni versus Laurel thing.
Laurel. That doesn't make sense.
No, yeah, I don't know.
Because one word starts with a y, the other is a la.
And yet people keep hearing both.
Yeah, people.
I don't.
Anyways, we're not getting into that bullshit.
We're
not the fucking View. We don't talk about that stupid shit. Yes, we actually talk about worse, don't we?
I'm about to say.
What do you call the View with men? The scene? Anyway. So when setting up an objective for this sort of encounter, use these various tools to represent the need for stealth. Because remember...
There's Alan.
Welcome, Alan. Hey, buddy. We were giving you a cool shout-out earlier. So anyways, when setting an objective, these various tools of stealth need to be the weapon of choice to overcome the encounter, not the sword. I cannot stress that enough. You need to, if you want this to succeed, that needs to be the focus. Yes, you can have a skirmish here and there, but what happens when they kill somebody? What are they going to do with the body? So now they're lugging this fucking body around, you know?
Into the barrel.
To the barrel? Yeah, so okay, you toss them into the barrel. What happens if, somebody stumbles? That happens to be the wine barrels. Somebody happens to look in it. Do you then give them a check to see if they stuff and hide it good?
Yep.
That's what I would do. So those sorts of things are need to be options, and you need to make sure there's plenty of options for the player. Now, for the DM, that means you either got to plan a lot or you got to be ready to roll with anything, because players aren't always going to know that they can't just run in and kill things, especially if that's how you normally run your games, right? That they can just mow everything down. You have to make it absolutely clear to them at the start that raw brute force is not going to cut it. Get it? Not going to cut it? But no? Okay.
I just have a fun way to assassinate somebody as a druid.
Oh, yeah? Don't you tell me crawl in their goddamn ear and go big, because that doesn't work.
No.
Okay.
Basically, cast your spells to control the weather, make a thunderstorm, call lightning.
That's nice. I like that. Camden just messaged me on Facebook. Isn't he in the group?
He was talking earlier. See? Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he messaged me. That was weird, and I'm so just ADD. I got distracted by it. Players should always have these options available when they're dealing with this type of challenge. If you're trying to push them towards this sort of challenge, then it needs to be multi-layered.
Like an onion.
Like an ogre. And you've heard us talk about skill challenges on this. I don't know that we've talked too much about skill challenges.
It was very much a 4th edition thing.
Yeah. So in 4th edition, you could set up what's called a skill challenge where the team as a whole needed to make so many successes before so many failures. So you might say, okay, regardless of what they decide to do, in the challenges ahead, they have to succeed at least 6 times before failing 5 times. Right? And then you have to have a condition of what happens in either. But either of those conditions should still drive the story forward. If that means somebody is lost in the process, they might still succeed at killing the Baron. But, the druid got caught. Or the monk got caught or something like that.
The druid got caught by the house cat because he turned into a rat.
That would be hilarious. But so it's important to do to think about those sort of things. And I personally, for me, a skill challenge makes the most sense for something like this because it's basically a rating system to determine their success. Yes, they can fail in a few things, but what happens when they fail? Which kind of leads us into the next thing is how do you engage them? Well, aside from the goal, the environment is the next important thing. For those who use a grid, remember the world is a lot bigger and far more detailed than what's on that little squares. I can't stress that enough.
The rogue god's job is a cook. He poisons the Baron's meal.
That's a good one. I like that, and that's a pretty common one, too. The details become extremely important in this sort of setting. So if you've got a grid, make sure that your players are clearly aware that unless you can draw every possible scenario on that little grid, which somebody might, I can't, but somebody might, you have to let them know that there's more than what's just there. And your descriptions become important then. So some examples of the environment, things that change nonstop, right? The environment is things that are around you and things that are going to engage the players. Patrolling guards probably the number one, right? Mm-hmm. Every game you run into has patrolling guards, right? Oh, yeah. So if the patrolling guards and they got to get past them, do they have to do a stakeout, right?
You are screwed when an exclamation point appears above their heads.
Unfortunately, it's not a video game, so it's not that simple. But, so if the patrolling guards are consistent, do they have a change pattern, right? If they change at certain times, when do they change? How can we find that out? Go to a tavern, meet some guys, dress up as somebody else, Use those tools to get that information of the changing of the guard, because that's going to be important. They're short a guy. Maybe you guys make him short a guy. Maybe you manage to snack one and slit his throat, and one of you shows up the next day looking for a job. Back to what you guys said earlier.
Or you pay off a guy who quit his job.
Or you pay off a guy. That's good. I like that. So for dealing with that, patrolling guards, yes, you could probably get away with fighting 1 or 2 of them.
Ooh.
But they're going to have...
You don't pay off the guy. You intentionally lose a game of poker against him.
Okay. And just let him walk away with that where he does like the I'm rich, bitch, I'm done?
Yes.
That's a good one. That seems like that you would have to really have quite a bit in that pot, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Sam says, would you say a rogue with spider climb and sticks to the ceiling when stealthing would have advantage due to people never looking up?
Maybe?
No.
Depends on the architecture of the building.
Yes. I would say they still smell and they still make noise. I would say that...
I mean, and not to mention, the center room, too, is about 8 feet tall. And even if you're going down the hallway, and you're on the other side of the hallway, you're still going to see the ceiling.
Yeah, and passive perception is designed to kind of cover that area, that kind of awareness, even if they're not normally looking up. What I would do is find a way to help him in another way. Not so much in the stealth check, but if he's trying to... grab something or open a door or crawl into another room, I might give them some sort of support on that. But passive perception is designed to kind of cover that sort of thing. So personally, I probably wouldn't. I might give him inspiration for it, though. I would say, here's inspiration. You can choose to use it now or use it later.
Oh, my God.
Personally. What's that?
Enchant an item the guard wins in the game. Maybe a ring. Enchantment allows you to track their movements.
Ooh, that's good. I like that, Alan.
Wow.
Sure it does, Sam.
Yes. I actually disagree because I don't think of the inspiration as an immediate reward. Oftentimes, it's not used immediately.
You pocket it for later.
Yes. That being said, you're right. That's probably not the best idea, but I think that would be a better use of that than just giving him advantage for the check that he may or may not succeed. I wonder, would you guys have any other ideas for that? I mean, because to me, that's not... God damn it, Sam. You're making me question myself. I don't like you.
That doesn't take much.
Shut up. No, I still wouldn't... Here's what I would do. It would depend... You mentioned the architecture. If the floor plan was high enough, then probably.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking like cathedral size, yeah, totally. But in your standard issue hallway, not so much.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I agree with you. Depending on how high it is, because their head level is going to be about the same, unless they're crawling. If they were crawling across, like on all fours...
But even then, that still covers what we already
Perception,
said.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't grant advantage for that. But anyways, sorry if I didn't answer your question. Please send an email to the complaint department with the money attached.
I also feel like you could have fun with minor illusions too, to distract guards.
Yes. See, now those sorts of things I think would really help with this sort of thing. Any sort of we talked about glamour earlier. Any sort of illusion, really, because you can make the ceiling look a little lower than it is and hide you. And they would have to use an action to suspect and check to see if even if it was real. What are some other environment things that they would run into in this sort of game?
Rooftops. Rooftops. The run across.
Sewers.
And parkour. Parkour.
Parkour?
Rooftops.
Yeah,
sewers. Aqueducts.
Rafters. You know, did you say that already?
Chandeliers.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's in the world there needs to be a lot of stuff for them to interact with. Not just, we talked about going through the ballroom, not just walking straight through the ballroom, right?
The daily wine delivery.
See that, and so kind of harkening back to the environment, or while we're on the environment, kind of harken back to what we said earlier about like staking out. Those could be things that you could add as the DM. That there's a daily carrier. There's would you say wine delivery?
Yep.
A daily wine delivery, or by a weekly wine delivery, something along those lines. That if you put those points in there for the players to look for, those are options for them to get in, because now they can easily just walk in, because who's going to turn away wine? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now in that case, if somebody decided to dress as the wine dealer, I'd probably give them advantage on their persuasion check to get in, or their deception check to hide, or whatever check you decide they need.
The guard. Oh, but we weren't told there's going to be a wine delivery. Look, man, I was just told to make a delivery. I don't ask questions. I just do my job.
That's really good. So other things that really get, you mentioned the rooftops. Going from rooftop to rooftop.
Hey! Oh!
Jumping can be really loud, right? Jumping from rooftop to rooftop might create a little bit of clatter.
Woo!
Up on the roof.
I just pictured totally a scenario where you assassinate the guy by jumping roof to roof, just as Santa Claus.
Just jump. What was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sam, you make a really great point, Sam. He says, remember that the players help in this detail of the world building. The DM doesn't think of everything, and even if it ultimately benefits the player, end of every day we play a game to, even if it benefits the player, end of the day we play to the game to have fun. Tim. I think it meant to say time, but I said
Tim.
Anyways, yeah, and that goes back to what we said earlier, that if you go in prepared, remember that the players should have as much impact in designing the world. If he says, hey, is there any pole that I can use to pole vault across the rooftops? There certainly is now. Or you can just say, yeah, you actually spot some. Or give them a check. If they roll really low, say, no, you don't find nothing.
No. They roll really low, they find a pole, they think it's long enough.
Or it breaks when they're crossing and they fall down and splat right onto a guard or something. So Sam is 100% right.
It's not the jump, it's the landing.
So the other thing to consider, we talked about distractions earlier. Most of the nobles in most places that would be some sort of gathering or a hideout or something have like horse stables, right?
Yep.
Horses are a great way to create distractions, right? If you can whack them and get them riled up and then set them loose, that's going to send everyone chasing after him.
Drop a weasel into the horse barn.
Her horse is really afraid of weasels.
They are now.
Give him one made by Acme. Okay. Try our new Acme pole. It is bigger. It is harder. It is longer. And it's just what you need.
One says, warning, if you weigh more than 10 pounds, this will break.
Wait, get some in the shaft.
Another thing that's really important in an environment like this is traps. That's what she said. Is traps. Traps become super important as well, because if you are a let's say, quote unquote, a bad person or even a wealthy person, you are going to take precautions, right?
Yep.
Let's assume for a second that magic is everywhere. You're probably going to have something that triggers when somebody enters that casts magic or that does some sort of magical effects. You know, there's a magical spell called Alarm, right?
If this window is open or broken, a bell rings.
Yeah, like the alarm spell. So you got to think that as a DM that those sorts of things will be in place as well. Glyphs of anti-magic or something, you know. So little things like that, so the wizard can't just, you know, poof poof, you know, back in and out.
Or glyphs of exploding.
What does the alarm trap spell look like? I imagine whatever you want it to do. I think it gives an example, but
I think it just covers an area.
yeah, but I don't think it gives a. I think it gives a general example of what it's supposed to look like. Does it? Somebody open it up, quick, go.
Got a new phone. I don't have the app on my phone yet.
Oh, congratulations! What kind of phone did you get?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I thought you were looking at
It doesn't matter.
LG Stylo 3.
Did you listen? It doesn't matter. That's the rock, right? Does it say, Brandon, how you doing?
Fuck you.
It doesn't matter. Anyway. Damn it, Ryan. It's his fault. I used to never care about that shit. Now I'm constantly watching stupid clips. Anyways, so I think the alarm, he's looking it up. Did you find it yet? We got all goddamn day.
One of the others being stupid. You set an alarm against unwanted intrusion. Choose a door, window, or area that's no bigger than a 20-foot cube. Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the worded area. Just sounds like it's just an invisible thing. Yep.
I would say it's invisible.
Yep. A mental. You can choose whether the alarm is mental or audible.
Oh, there you go. So how would the players react to that if they open a window, shink, and it goes... you know, it's something like that that's really loud.
Circus Afro.
And it draws all the guards to that location. Once again, if the players are doing the reconnaissance, they can learn stuff like that from the guards, right? The guards will be aware of stuff like that to avoid, because they might set this trap off at a certain time, you know? So you, as the DM, be kind of plan for that sort of thing. And we talk about the Glyph Alarm, which might be probably, I would say, be the most common for lower levels. But for higher levels, you know, glyphs of anti-magic fields or something along that line, you know? You can make a glyph out of any magic spell. Just say it's a glyph, you know?
Yep.
You don't need an actual spell called the Glyph of whatever. Mages can empower items and
That's
shit
where
like that.
homebrew comes in.
Yeah. Well, I won't even homebrew. I just say it's there.
Exactly. That's homebrewing.
Sam says, "Damn it, I need a soundboard for my D&D game." But anyways, so the other thing I want to talk about is something that's very common to noble families in mansions is how do they get their food? They all go hunting, right? And
Or they have kitchens.
oh, shut up, dude.
For sport.
I would say that most like nobles in most groups would have some sort of hunting dog or
Release
hunting
the
wolf
hounds.
or something along those lines. So if you toss those sort of things in there, it being invisible doesn't help, right? So that's a way to overcome something that can go invisible, you know.
Or that creates an opportunity to create a hunting accident.
Ooh, that is good. I like that. So instead of trying to break into the noble's house or the baron's house, you just wait for him to leave.
Yep.
Oh, that's subtle, but I would totally give you full credit if you came up with something.
Okay, I can spell someone an owl bear.
Nice. I like that. That's really good. So adding wolves and stuff like that will create another challenge that helps deal with people who are very stealthy or who can go invisible and because they can smell them out, right? They get advantage in all perception checks with their nose. So if they were out, you know, to the bar hanging out with the guards and they change clothes with the guards, the wolves or dogs or hounds might actually recognize them or recognize the scent. So maybe that's a way to get past by something like that, or just sleeping them all, or some sort of animal companion spell of love. What else we got for environment, fellas? Light.
Mm-hmm.
Light's probably the biggest one. This is where, because no sane person is going to break into daylight. But you mentioned time being an issue, right?
Yep.
What if you
Could
have
be.
no choice to do it but in daylight time?
Okay, guys. Hug your nails. Why? We gotta go through the sewers. Dang it!
That's funny. So we mentioned thaumaturgy, and there's a collection of other spells. Gust of wind, an example, can put out stuff. So being able to put out torches and sconces can really grant advantage and give you what you need. Of course, if you've got a guard that's going around in circles and he comes out and one of those things is out, he might notice, or he might be set on alert. So you got to kind of think of those things as well.
Or he's an idiot. The torch is out. I'll go get a new one.
And then leaves his post instead of walking to another sconce and lighting it. The last things we kind of touched on already, so I'm not going too much, is crowds. Crowds make for a great challenge because if your goal is to murder somebody at a masquerade, stabbing really is probably not an option.
Not if you do it right.
Damn it, Ian. Right. I mean, under the right circumstances, it can always be done, but maybe it needs to be more subtle than that.
Right.
Maybe all the lights go out and then it comes back on and he's dead. Then you get a murder mystery. It leads
Bum.
your Cloak and Dagger just rolled into a murder mystery. So there you go.
The butler did it.
Great when D&D turns into Clue.
Which is not a bad thing. I like Clue.
Colonel Mustard, where's the candlestick in the conservatory?
The other thing that is a big deal in these sort of Cloak and Dagger style sequences is what happens when the adventurers are caught in the act. Because they can't succeed every time, right?
Nope.
Unless you let them. If you let them succeed, well, then why bother rolling the game at all? Just say you guys get there.
It's the story that counts.
Right. So in this case, what happens if the wizard is trying to sneak past an open door and gets distracted by this little relic on a podium and turns to look at it just long enough that somebody catches him and they shout guards and now everyone's chasing you. That naturally is a chase scene. Now, in some sequences, people will probably just try to shoot him, right?
Yeah.
And stab him. But if you've got an entire room, mage might fireball him, I guess. The goal is that they can't just settle it with stuff like that, so they're probably going to have to run away or something along those lines, right? Leading into a chase.
Okay, guards, you're probably wondering why I am here. You are not going to believe this.
Remember that if you haven't done a chase scene, I think we've talked. Have we done an episode on that? I don't know. Have we done an episode on chase?
I feel like it's come up. I'm not sure if we talked about it in depth.
I don't know. Well, if you don't know, running a chase basically is everyone doing whatever they can to escape, whether it's taking dash.
Anyway, taking dash.
What's it say?
When infiltrating or doing Cloak and Dagger missions, what extent do you employ maps?
You're asking the wrong person because I don't.
Yeah, he never uses maps.
And if I do, it's a map for me and not the players.
As much as you want.
Yeah, and this kind of harkens back to you asking, Sam asking about whether, how long does a stealth last? For me, it would be every challenge point, right, or every branch. We've talked before in story branches. Wherever there's a chance for something to go wrong, technically there probably should be a check, right?
Sure.
Make one check for getting down the hall. Okay, there's 3 different doors they're going to pass. I'm going to say that's one challenge, right? But there's a guard on the other side of the door, so that would require no check. So it's going to be up to you to decide how much to use the map. I don't personally, but I know that's because that's my gameplay style now. Before, when I played 4E, that's all we used.
Well, you kind of had to worry.
And I hated, okay, I'm going to stealth. All right, I'm done. You're in a stealth. Click, 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 click. Move 10 paces. You're done. Or 6 or whatever it was. They double move or whatever.
Yep.
So I don't for that because I can narrate an entire room of stealth easier than I can just have them walk. Okay, you sneak down this hallway. Yeah, that's about as exciting as it gets for me. And I moved away from that for that reason. But I'm going to say it's going to be up to you. I would, for personally, just use them as like a plot areas, right, and combat areas. Other than that, you don't need a map when you're describing stealthiness. You basically say, hey, you see 3 guards, a short distance away. If you right now they're kind of looking at each other. If you were to move from the spot, they'll probably see you. Okay, well, I want to create a minor illusion and create a noise over there, so they look that way. Then I'm gonna run. Okay, make a stealth check. What?
I just picture in my head. I know I keep touching druids just because, let's face it, they have a lot of options without
Druids
alone.
are great for infiltration.
But I was thinking, like, maybe the druid turns into a ferret. And the Lord spells him, a ferret! You are not my new pet. Think of all the opportunities that could come up from that.
Yeah. Oh, look at my little ferret, Sammy.
You're just sitting there, he's holding you, petting you, and then he turned into an elephant. And that's the end of him.
Ed has a great New York Tater. You got a great idea here. He says maybe you can have them create one as they're casing the joint. So that way, the longer they spend casing and learning, the more full the map is.
Yeah.
That's pretty snazzy. I like that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, chase scenes. I recommend running a chase scene as a skill check again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to run away. Give me an athletics check. Okay, you dash down the hall and you push over the pedestal with some items on it and pull picture frames off the wall and are throwing them behind you as you're escaping.
And you drop your bag of ball bearings.
And you drop a bag of ball bearings. And so
And Alan has a good point. Is what if before this whole thing happens, everyone plans that they might have to escape, so they create ways to aid themselves as they're escaping.
I definitely like that. And if the players came to me with, here's my escape plan, I probably would make the escape much easier to succeed at. Because when was the last time you were in a game where the players went into a dungeon with an escape plan?
Never.
I strategically make sure there's a cart of hay underneath its window.
Oh, there you go. So you can run and jump out the window in the old-fashioned style, right?
What's that called? Leap
man.
of faith?
Yes. So that actually leads into some of our next stuff. Yeah, Sam, that's the part of it. That's because we I don't want to digress into that too much. It's our job to encourage those sort of ideas. That's why I think the inspiration system works. Because the more you start using that as a tool, as a reward, what is Seymour's stupid psychology thing, where he rewards the dog with a treat. What is that called? Anybody know?
Reinforcement?
Yes, that's the one. The reinforcement. When you start giving them rewards for those really creative ideas, hopefully they'll come up with more.
Associative learning?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so
That's Pavlov.
running a chase scene is really good. If they've got a plan to escape, that's great. Kind of running out of time here. The next thing I want to talk about is only I can stealth. This is something you hear a lot, right? Well, we got one rogue in the party, and nobody else. We got a big plate paladin,
Okay, first off, just because you're the rogue doesn't mean you're the only one who can stealth.
Right, and that comes back to us talking about what we were talking about earlier. Many other skills come into play with a cloak and dagger encounter that don't rely simply on stealth. And these come down to gathering information. Well, anybody can gather information, right? You just got to go around and talk to people, whether that's persuasive or bribery. Starting rumors is a really good one, right? Mm-hmm. If you sneak a rumor in, let's say Brandon's our big paladin, and he decides he wants to sneak a wrong rumor in that the place is going to be attacked, that the noble has been caught cheating on his wife with another noble, right? So now that starts to make its way through. Now, how is that? And that noble finds out. Is that noble then going to create a scene at the location, allowing the party to succeed in a skill check or a stealth check, because now there's a noble NPC making a big scene about the other guy plowing his wife, which isn't actually happening. You know?
Plot twist! He actually is.
That would be awesome. Disabling traps. Disabling environmental effects. If there's a watchtower, right? If you can put out all the lights on a watchtower, that watchtower is not going to be very effective.
Place a fake bounty on the noble.
Talking to a guard and distracting a guard for a second. You know, when you got the person that plays the very charismatic bard, or let's say seductress, right? And she walks around and runs her hand across her face and starts shaking her ass, or a guy.
Wow.
We're pro equal rights of everything here
You touched
at
me.
Crit Academy. You like that? But anyways, so doing stuff like that, any player can do those sorts of things. Some might have a better chance of succeeding. I don't imagine the big burly barbarian is going to have a lot of success when he walks up to the guard and says, "Hi, my name's Tiffany." Then again, maybe he might. Maybe it turns out that guy is into Goliaths, you know? So there's a lot.
No, I've never done it with a big chick before.
A great example of this is in heist movies like Ocean's 11. Every person has a job. It doesn't have to be everyone's job to sneak in to do something. It only has to be one person's.
And sometimes a job's not a big job, but it's an important job.
Yes. For instance, hang on, I got something.
Ooh. So, the guy who's pretending to be a butler files down an important key. So the guard can't get in.
Sam says, without me prompting the possibility, and therefore they do it because I suggested it is possible. So then, okay, so I've got a Crit Academy homework for you, Sam. Next time, do a few exercises, and I think we've briefly talked about this on the show. Do some exercises with your party. When they walk into a tavern, ask them what it looks like. Who cares what you've already got written up? Say, hey, Brandon, you walk into the tavern. What's it look like?
It's dark and dimmy, and it smells of BO because all these guys are in here.
How many guys are in there?
Half a dozen.
Who's behind the counter?
Some big busty chick, I don't know.
What race?
Half orc.
Okay, and you walk up to her and ask her name. What is it?
Cynthia.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. So if you give them that, if you just outright give them that creative freedom, they'll start to come up with that. One that I use a lot when people are searching for information. Ian, Ian approaches me, says, "Hey, I want to go out and scout the town and look for any rumors in regards to this giant ogre." All right, give me an investigation check. Oh, you got a 16. Who do you find?
Well, I find Tim the blacksmith.
Okay, and what is Tim? Tim the blacksmith? What is he doing right now? Is he blacksmithing?
Of course he's blacksmithing.
Or is he eating something?
He's blacksmithing.
Okay,
a hammer.
so he's blacksmithing. So way to be very creative, by the way, because I'm trying to prove a point.
Because he is actually creating some extra swords, as extra work orders, because of the rumor that there is a giant ogre going around, so people want protection.
Oh, see, that was really good. So I may or may not have had that written out, but now we've got one. So the little exercises like that can encourage them to build the world for you, and just take notes of some of the things I say.
Sometimes the players do the best job of coming up with the ideas to kill them with.
Yeah, and more importantly, all I need to do is say, okay, there's a room here. I don't know. Unless it's an important NPC, it doesn't matter to me. But maybe that NPC becomes important. Anyways, so talking about giving each person a different job, this is a great time to actually split the party members, right? Because that's the traditional trope, right? Don't split the party.
In a heist situation, you might have to.
Yeah, so when you use initiative, you're going to describe each scene to each person. If it's Ian's job to make sure the gate is up at a certain time, and it's Brandon's job to make sure that the guard tower doesn't have a guard in it at this certain time, if it's Sam's job to ensure that the butler is out of the room so that Alan can sneak in and do the job. Each one of those has a job, and the scenario is going to go a little bit differently. In that point, treat it like combat and just follow an initiative roll and describe each scene as they're going through it based on one skill check or tools that they use to overcome that challenge. You know that if... Fuck, I forgot who I gave what job. What one did you have?
You didn't give me a job.
Anyways,
Yes,
so
did.
let's
I
say...
was to make sure there's no guards in the tower at this time.
So
That
let's
was
say
make sure the gate was open.
Okay, so you did have a job. So thanks for throwing me off. So let's say
I just
Brandon
clicked it.
succeeds at getting the guard out of the tower and is able to put out the light, but Ian doesn't get the gate open.
Why isn't this lever working?
So now he's failed to get the gate open, so guess what? You guys now have to find a new route to escape. You know, so things like that. So each person's job...
Constable.
So each person's job doesn't necessarily have to be tied to, oh, you just didn't get it open. It has some impact on how the story is going to unfold.
Right.
If Brandon doesn't get that guard out of that tower, the challenge for the stealth EC to get past it just went way up. And so there's going to be recourse for those things. But you can easily split up the group that way. Those are almost the exact examples. So if you have a mage, using mages to disable specific traps that you've learned about. Now, the great thing is that if your group fails to do any investigative work, they're going to be punished. They're going to run into traps. They're going to run into guards. They're going to run into those things. And what happens when you're told, hey, this needs to be discreet, the guards that he has are strong, and you won't be able to take them on, and somebody just says fuck it and charges in,
Leroy.
that's how you lose players. And personally, as the DM, if I've given them plenty of warning that this is dangerous, that they can die if they do not do it subtly, then somebody probably will die if they choose to ignore that.
Yeah. Not only does he die, but the next day they're like, okay, we're gonna try this again. They look, and the guard's doubled.
Yeah, so
And there's a body hanging from the gate of the mansion.
and it's your buddy. Your buddy's got just fucking hanging there back and forth as a warning. You know, so that really gives the world a live feeling, right? That's how you make the world feel alive. What does that say?
At the end of each session, reward extra experience for doing things like making a well-thought-out plan. Everyone to explain why they get it. Maybe it'll inspire them to think outside the box.
That sounds like a Jack in the Box commercial or a Taco Bell commercial.
I think outside the box, we
I'm
can
hungry.
fold the box into origami.
That's a good point, Alan.
Now the party has a pinata.
Maybe they can practice. What else? All right. All these things have to go right. So all these things don't actually have to go right in order for. Well, everything has to go right for it to, or in order for it to go without a hitch. But remember, every failure should have consequences and make the difficulty that much harder. Whether that means they lose somebody in the process, hey, that might happen, but that's part of the game. Or somebody just gets maimed or can't help, and maybe your failure, it doesn't hinder the game too much because the guy is able to stealth by anyway. But there should always be some sort of recourse. Maybe the guards are on high alert now because you tried to take out the guy in the guard tower, whoever that was. Brandon's in the guard tower, and now they're all high alert. Alarm goes off, you know. So, so I think I kind of already touched on it. Always think about what's going to happen, and remember, fail forward.
I may know.
What?
Sam.
Sanither's Guide.
Uh,
I mean, for sure Justin does.
mine
there on the table?
might be over there on the table. You can go look.
Alright.
If it's not on top. It's in
Oh,
the box.
Tater does.
Tater's got it.
You lazy turd.
He's like, if I don't have to go get it, I'm not going to.
Pretty much.
So anyways, we kind of talked about failing forward. Always fail forward. Even if they fail, don't just say, I fail. You fail. Make sure there's some sort of recourse for it. Oh, Brandon sneaks up to try to knock out the guard, and he fails. Maybe the guard stabs him or throws him off the top of the guard tower, you know. He might walk away. He might not. No matter the challenge, always be ready to look for another way out or another way forward.
Ooh, good call, Sam.
There's a big section that has some of these cloak and dagger tests and downtime activities.
Oh, snap. Wish I knew that.
There's a lot of these Xanthars.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I probably could have done a much better job of prepping then.
Wah, wah.
Sad face. Yeah, so check out Xanathar's Guide. There's a big Cloak and Dagger section in downtime activities, which we talked about. I must have read that then, about coming up with things to do during downtime activities.
It may have came up when we were reviewing the guide ages ago.
Maybe. Do you guys have anything else? Anything else you think we missed or that you would like to add to the Cloak and Dagger?
I think we hit all of the big points.
Come on, B.
There's always more options,
Don't
though.
let me down, bro. Don't let me down.
That face.
You can do it.
He's trying so hard.
The gears are turning, but there's smoke coming out.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, snap. That's funny. Is it getting warm in here or is it just me?
It's getting warm in here.
It's getting hot in here.
It's
So take
Brandon
off
trying
all
to
your
think.
clothes.
No,
Look at
smoke's
my-
coming
I'm
out.
trying to think. It's so fucking hot in here. My brain's gonna explode.
I didn't turn the fan on today. Oh, you guys closed the door. That's why. I had that bastard open.
I'm good. UTT. Sam is excited for the next portion of our show.
You might want to see a doctor about that.
What? What did I say? I missed it.
He said UTT.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, we're moving on. All right. Pretty late opening that, but okay.
You
So
should say that to your girlfriend who doesn't play D&D at all. It's like, I got the new UTT. Don't touch me.
Sounds like an STD.
No, hon, that's not what it is. It's just look. It's a new book that came out. By
That's a
Criminal Academy.
UTI.
No. UTT. I think Camden's like, hurry the hell up. All right, so I think that'll do for our main topic today. If you'd like to visit other areas where you can get great inspiration for a Cloak and Dagger-esque type game, watch heist movies. Get lots of good ideas.
It's not curable. Penicillin.
Your girlfriend is one of your players. I can't even get my wife to barely try the game. She tried 4th edition, and she hated it, and now she doesn't ever want to touch 5th edition.
The penicillin thing is funny because you missed it before.
What?
In the realm, you were talking about how your back hurt and, and all that stuff, and he says that's curable with penicillin.
And drugs.
And now he's dropping it with that's not curable.
So that'll do it. Before we move on to our honor tips and tricks, we have one more gift to give away. Compliments of Loresmith.
Good stuff.
Smith.
Law Smith. Who's the winner?
Brandon, who's our winner today?
Our winner is blank. I gotta look over here. Our winner this week is Whitney Angel 0.
No.
Or is that Angle?
It's Angelo, you weirdo.
Angelo. I thought it was a 0.
Who's our winner today, Brandon?
Fuck you.
Whitney Angelo.
Our winner this week for Loresmith is Whitney Angelo.
Make sure you all engage this, okay? It's Alan's first time.
Oh my God.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand and don't help.
Be happy, Alan, because that's all you're going to get from me.
Congratulations to Whitney Angelo. If you enjoy the adventure, please head on over to loresmith.com and leave him a review. Tell him what you like, what you didn't like, and let him know what you thought of the product. Tell him Crit Academy sent you. That's not curable with penicillin either, huh? My eyes! So, I think Ian's going to appreciate this. Moving on to our 4th and final segment, we have our honor tips and tricks. Our character concept is called Muscle Magic.
I was totally picturing Armstrong.
Yes, that's exactly who I was thinking of when this character was built. So,
As in...
Major Armstrong.
Good God.
big giant guy. So, first of all, to make it clear, from a meta standpoint, this character is just a caster, right?
Yep.
That's all they are. Maybe even multi-class into punk if you want to add a little monk if you want to add a little more flavor, but
Or Terry Crews.
or Terry Crews, yes, that's awesome. It works best in my opinion with like a Goliath or like a dwarf or somebody who's got the natural build, but you could use it with really any race if you wanted.
I love that commercial.
This. For me, I would say this was. I already said sorcerer. I did change it. This character treats their magic like amazing feats of strength. Their punches and kicks are so powerful that they tear through the very weave of magic and distort it, creating powerful effects. We should roleplay this out, right?
Yep.
Who wants? Which one would you want?
I want the muscle guy.
You want the muscle guy? All right.
I'll be the wizard.
Oh, God damn it, you guys. I got to write this shit out and get to play it. So we've got a little sample here to kind of go with it.
Yeah, you just narrated it.
Okay, go wizard.
All right. What was that? A firebolt?
What? No! I just kicked so fast the friction from my foot eats up the air around it. Something like a huge shockwave of soaring air at my foe.
Right. How are you able to shrug off those blows so easily? Mage armor?
That, my friend, is pure, unadulterated muscle magic. Our flicks are enough that my muscles glisten in the magical sweat, protecting this marvelous mountain like a structure from harm.
I don't think that's what's happening.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Except
Okay.
you put the wrong intonation onto that. I don't think that's what's happening.
Oh. Okay. I don't think that's what's happening. Okay, now that was definitely acid splash.
what? My spit? We have muscles like these, you need to eat a variety of things to keep in shape, be healthy, a powerful stomach, and spit to melt down the sands of a rigorous diet. Oh, I love those habanero sauces. This, my spit would melt the armor off a knight.
I give up. I can't believe I went to college for this.
I got through with a football scholarship.
Edward says a gnome would be hilarious. Yeah, so this would be great. So this entire concept is 100% a magic user who doesn't think, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you reflave it and to them it's not magic. But to everyone else, they can see exactly what the result is, especially an educated person in magic like an arcane wizard.
That does not compute.
That was great.
Instead of meditating, he works out. The only thing I couldn't think of was like
Make strength the modifier instead of intelligence.
maybe. Now you're getting into changing some of the mechanics.
You're
but
just changing the numbers and where they come from.
yeah, maybe I suppose. But really, the whole idea is that I'm envisioning this big giant Armstrong-looking motherfucker who glistens and sheens and shines, and when he smiles, maybe he uses minor illusion to make a little sparkle and tint into his teeth or something
my
along
God.
the lines. You know.
This physique has been passed down through the generations by the Armstrong family.
The wizard who thinks he's too good for difficult adventuring. But
A gnome learning magic perfects it.
I
But
am
can't
for it.
control it.
control it. Wild magic. Hey, welcome, Ryan, buddy. Welcome to the party. You just missed one of the best character concepts ever.
It's Ryan Torres. Are your kids, are the kids having a good time?
He sent a post today earlier from
They
school.
did, but I'm asking him in person now.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Put him on the spot, why don't you?
Hell yes. Hells yes, and we are so happy to hear that.
Yeah, that was awesome. I
Indeed.
get a warm fuzzy feeling when I help people. That's weird because I hate people. I'm not used to that. It was a different feeling. It was so unlike me.
We did something that we're talking about.
What item is that?
Oh man, they got monster manuals, the Anthra's Guide,
Player's handbooks.
the player's handbooks, the map, a
Big old collection of monster
think of
tokens
monster
or monster
tokens.
Miniatures.
pens. I think he should be getting a shirt soon.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
That was
A
awesome.
million welcomes.
Yeah. So So I think Ed was talking about something specific, but I can't remember what I said 2 seconds ago. So. Anyways, so what do you guys think about this character concept, the muscle magic?
I like it.
I think it's funny.
Because I mean, once again, it just was a reflavoring of a current class, which we were talking about in our previous session of our Patron Pals earlier today about just reskinning a character,
Yep.
and giving it different flavor. And what is the complete opposite of a feeble magic caster? A big burly guy that doesn't think it's magic. Oh, that's fantastic.
Like I said once before, I remember I read a character concept online where a player wanted to play as a mage, but he said show up with a barbarian. But the joke was he received mage training because he got through the Metro University on a football scholarship.
Can anybody here do a Scandinavian accent? Because Sam says it needs to be.
It's a Scandinavian.
Is that right?
I don't know.
That doesn't sound
Sounds
right.
more Swedish.
Yeah, whatever. I can't even tell the difference between the two. Anyway, so that'll do it for our magic or our character concept, the muscle magic. Go out, have fun, punch things, punch the air so fast you create fireballs. Ooh, that's like a firebender.
Yep.
All right, our monster variant today. Actually, Brandon, do you want to take? Wait, you get the magic item, don't you?
Usually.
Well, you can get this one. You can get the encounter, and then.
Well located.
Do you sound upset? Do you want the monster
What
variant?
happens if they fart? Fireball.
What is the line from Braveheart about shooting lightning bolts from his arse?
Okay. He shoots lightning from his hands and lightning and fire from his arse.
And he's 8 feet tall. Anyway, so our magic, god damn it, our monster variant today is Barrel Dragon.
Did you get this from Zoids?
Actually, I think it was sorcerer. What was
So
the
this is a combination.
What was the base mechanic for the character?
The sorcerer,
Yeah, sorcerer.
not wizard.
Yeah.
Wizard is was a no-go.
Yep.
Meta magic made more sense.
Yep.
Especially if you're like dragon skin version, dragon ancestry, or
Yep.
whatever. Anyway, so yes, our monster variant today is Barrel Dragon. Yes, I got it from a combinations of Berserk Fury from
Yep.
Zoids, as well as Twin Barrel Dragon from the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Now that I've given away all my nerdiness to a whole new level, here are the changes that are required. The origin of the monster is the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That was good.
Well, he had lots of years of practice.
Yeah.
What was your nickname growing up?
Clever girl.
Beastmaster.
Clever girl.
Clever girl. No, it was Raptor Boy. It was Raptor Boy.
He used to run around stalking around with his hands like pushed into his chest, screaming. Give us
I'd
another
run around
one.
Like a dentist. Huh?
Give us another one.
And I even got the shirt for it.
What's it say?
Raptor trainer.
So anyways, the base monster is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You'll have to make a few changes. You'll have to change it from a beast to a construct. You'll have to give it damage immunities, poison. Condition immunities: charmed, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, and poison. Because now it's a construct, right?
Yep. Two things. First off, Brian Doris, T-Rex. If you're happy in the wet, clap your. Oh, never mind.
Fucking Tate.
So one of the new features is legendary action. The Barrel Dragon can take one legendary action and can be used. That can only be used one time and only at the end of another creature's turn. The Barrel Dragon regains spent legendary actions at the start of its turn. What is its legendary action, you say?
Bum, 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 bum,
Cannon
bum.
Blast. The Barrel Dragon's claws grip tight into the ground. It lowers its head, forward aligning its head, back, and tail straight as a blade. Several parts of its mechanical armor open up, and you can see behind them are vents containing fan blades that begin to spin and suck in air around it. It opens its maw wide with a roar. A large cylindrical barrel extends from the recesses in the creature's mouth. A ball of electrical energy can be seen forming in its mouth. It exhales a destructive electrical energy.
Jog!
When the Barrel Dragon uses the Cannon Blast, forming a line 100 feet long and 5 feet wide out from the Barrel Dragon. I don't think I worded that right. Each creature in line must make a DC 16 Dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
Sounds like a glorified medieval railgun.
Charge!
Yeah, it's a laser cannon dragon face thing.
Yep.
Have you ever seen Zoids? There's there in one of the newer ones. Actually, the Gojulus is the one that does it too, right? Some of the older ones.
It's like the Black Tyrannosaurus thing.
Yeah. Gojulus. And then the Silver Berserk Fury.
Yep.
Basically, he gets all the enemies around him, and he his paws open out and claw out, and he goes and then charges up and shoots like a blast, and it's fucking like a Kamehameha wave. It's great.
Yeah, it's like a 2 shield mounted cannons that doubles a force field generator.
Yep. I didn't add that because I thought that'd make him too strong, but I considered it. Well, maybe on another variant someday. So, what do you think about this, Brandon? Does it sound badass, or am I just too hyped about it?
You are not too hyped about it. It sounds pretty badass.
Ryan agrees. That's badass. So does Alan. Hey, I love you guys, but not like that. The challenge rating, it pushes it to the top damage of the challenge rating. So it very well could be challenge rating 8. It falls in a kind of right in between there. If you don't know, there's damage scales in the DMG.
Yeah,
It's a gray area.
Yeah, it's very close to one. I think it's a 7. I think it might go to an 8, but it's close enough that I didn't bother changing it on my sheet. So.
So I could just imagine the player who's seen it before who has heard of it, and it's getting in position, it's getting ready. It gets down, its jaw opens, he's going, fuck. He starts running off. The other guy's like, where are you going?
He doesn't get it.
No.
So that'll do it. That'll do it for our monster variant, the Barrel Dragon. So you can get as free with this like you did with the last one. This is a very short description, so I'm going to let your creative mind and juices flow, just not onto the table, okay? Into the mic. Oh, God, dude, no, stop. Okay. You get the next one. So that'll do it for our monster variant, the Barrel Dragon.
And today, for our encounter of the podcast, this comes from our listener, Stanton Fink. The children of the demon. Children in an area have been disappearing for a while now. A cult who worships a demon surreptitiously initiates children into their ranks by teaching them demonology and summoning rituals in the form of nursery rhymes and suspicious picture books. So, Barney?
Maybe. I can't give away my secrets. So what I think is really cool is we've talked about moral ambiguity. Things that are bad are clearly wrong, but are sometimes innocent. There's no cut and dry right and wrong, right?
Ring around the rosy.
I was trying to think of a really good rhyme. You got anything? Go with
a
that.
pocket full of posy.
No.
Ashes, ashes.
Your city burns down. So
2 were coming for you.
3, 4.
Raise the fucking buck.
We could do that really good.
It's story time. It's story time. You're all gonna fucking die.
So for this, the goal is that these cultists are using children to summon and make pacts with demons and become villainous, but it's not the children's fault, right? So in this adventure, once again, the players can't just go on a murder spree. I mean, they could, but how is the villagers going to react to finding out their kids were killed by adventurers? The parents in the cities aren't going to care that they were able to summon demons through nursery rhymes. They're not going to care that they think they're playing and having fun with their invisible friend who's stomping off murdering people, right? So the players then have to find a way to deal with this and break these apart, whether it's through a complex ritual where they have to remove and detach the children from these demons. But I'm really thinking, you ever play Bioshock, like Big Daddy and little sister, right? Is it little sister and Big Daddy?
Yep.
Where you got these little cute. Well, I use cute loosely in that case, but
Mr. Bubbles.
but the idea is that the players have to find a new way to engage and deal with this. And what happens if they kill the demon just outright? Does it affect the kid? Is there an attachment to it, or do they got to go through a special process and remove the demon from the connection it has with the child? Wow, way to feed into the ideas, guys. Keep them fucking coming.
It's like the mental image just had in my head. I just picture like a demon-possessed child and gets a very unholy large grin that's unnatural. I love you, you love me. Sharpening knives.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And you're like, no.
I think it'd be worse if you ended up killing the demon that these children looked up to, and they turned on you, and you were forced to take them out anyway.
Because then they turned evil, right?
You killed Mr. Bubbles.
I really like this. Can you guys have any ideas of how they would have to do this? I mean, a special ritual, obviously. What kind would be involved in that ritual? A circle of salt and some hallowed ground, maybe?
Yep.
Something as simple as that. But they would have to find the hallowed ground and find enough salt to circle a bunch of children.
I thought we were supposed to use rosemary. Rosemary. No, this is oregano. Dang it!
So
And
it doesn't work.
requires sacrifice. There's nothing more creepy and saddening watching a bunch of brainwashed kids kill one kid because he needs a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Nothing about the monster squad. Okay, a virgin must read the book. Sister, here's the book. Okay, reads the spell. Nothing's happening. Wait.
Don't tell mom.
So I think that'll do it for our encounter of the podcast. Children of the Demon.
Holy crap.
Oh, great. It's like that, like Pinocchio in Shrek 2. Don't simple lie, like, I'm wearing these underwear. Nose doesn't grow.
What the hell? Sam says, or capture and force a cleric to hollow some ground. That seems very barbaric to force a cleric to do that. Why don't you just ask him? Hey, we need you to create some hollow ground so we can undamage these children. Oh, sure. And if a cleric says no, then they're pretty effed up. Brandon, would you like to do our magic item?
Yes, does this come from somewhere, or did you make this?
I certainly did not make this. It is a magic item in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, yeah.
This, I read through this. This is a horrible.
So
magic
when
item.
you're looking for ideas for your adventures and your items, nothing is off limits.
No.
All right, so
Since when do players ask? In my games, they get stabbed in the gut.
this week's magic item is called the Forlorn Hope. It is once said that this item was held in a vault of powerful spiritual leaders. It has been said that it can grant any wish the user desires. It is a small hand mirror with a bronze handle and frame. This item is a cursed sentient item. It can cast the wish spell once per year. The user who makes the wish loses their life, but the wish is granted. That's cold.
Well, I'm a heartless son of a bitch.
The user who makes the wish loses their life, and blah blah blah. The mirror will not grant a wish to a person being forced into casting the wish, magical or otherwise. If the caster of the wish makes a self-sacrificing wish, A wish that is only to benefit of someone else, with pure intention. The wish is granted without taking a life.
But they may not know that little fact.
They might not know, and that's the whole point. So this, I don't know if you clarified, this is a cursed and sentient item.
Yes.
Like mirror on the wall.
Fuck them all, fuck them all, fuck them
yeah.
all.
So, well,
The fine print
technically,
next in the mirror.
technically, I think forlorn hope actually means, gives that away.
You look on the back and Draconic says, make a wish, it's going to fuck you up.
So, forlorn hope means a persistent or desperate hope that is unlikely to be fulfilled. So, it outright, your wish may come true, but it's not going to be for you. So, it is a cursed object.
Object in the mirror appears
Alan,
dead.
That makes it even
Oh, that is awesome, Alan. Yes. So when they look in it, they see a picture of them dead as the mirror. I was thinking like mirror on the wall type stuff as it's talking to you, and it may be indifferent. It might even. It might be. What's that say?
Tate, I have that mirror in my bathroom already.
I like what Alan says about having the objects in the mirror appear dead. That could be a clue to it. Now you could call for an intelligence check to figure it out, or have a history check on any magic item that might match this, or if somebody's got the sage background, they can go look it up.
Or better yet, when you look in the mirror, it reflects everything but you. So you can see your friends and everything, but you don't see yourself. And as you make the wish, you get put into the mirror.
Or how about you start off there and then it dissipates as you're making the wish? I don't know. The idea is that it's meant to be cursed because everyone's so excited to get a ring of 3 wishes. What if you just find something that will, in fact, grant your wish, but it costs a heavy price?
Oh, look. It's that time of the year again. The one time of the year I can grant wishes. The only time that people actually talk to me.
And you could set it up.
No one ever just talks to me.
You could set it up so that they find somebody that uses it. And when they make the wish, it kills them, and then they witness it firsthand as well. So then the players are carrying around this deadly item. What the hell's going to happen, you know? So this is a very simple item, but we always have... I'm not the type of person to corrupt a wish that the players do through like the wish spell. This would be my way of kind of altering that, and I could introduce this at a low level. If one person was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice and they don't know that that's a condition of the mirror, then they're going to get off scot-free for sacrificing themselves to save somebody else, and lo and behold, they're not sacrificed. I think to me that would be an amazing climax to an encounter.
Oh, Sam, I like that.
You know, it'd be great.
The last person to make a wish is the sentient object's character and is bound to seek the next victim, so their soul can be released.
Oh, snap. Sam, I think he gets the MVP, most valuable patron for the day. Golf clap? Golf clap. That's all you get. So I think that'll do it for our magic item, the Forlorn Hope.
That goes great with the main topic, too. You sneak into the noble's bedchambers and you put the mirror on his table and just leave.
Genius. But how are they going to know to make a wish?
Write a note.
Oh, well, it talks to him. It'll tell him. I will grant
buddy,
you a wish.
come here.
I will grant
Hey,
any
come
wish
here.
you want.
I got something good for you.
And he can always word it, I will grant you any one wish you desire.
The first one's free.
But you could always you could always make the Forlorn Hope tell them that it will take their life. But some people may be willing to make that. That being said, moving on to our DM tip.
Oh, no.
Really?
No.
You grabbed this from a meme?
It was a meme, so I had to because I think this is hilarious. You can spice up your D&D game a little bit if you're all adults and you're feeling a little naughty. When players roll a nat 1, bust out the naughty dice. Make it an encounter they will never forget.
Oh, my God.
Have you guys? Has anybody saw these naughty dice?
You know, the worst part is that I saw this like 3 days ago, the meme, and my first thought was, what DM in their right mind would do this?
Me.
Apparently.
No, I just think, oh man, I'm gonna end up getting porn on my computer trying to look at these things.
You're at Spencer's.
Should be
you're
good.
Fine.
So, now when I say naughty dice, I don't say go out and buy an actual set of naughty dice. You can buy blank dice and fill your own stuff onto them.
Or you can make a chart.
Or you can make a chart too. But either way, rolling and making it a moment they'll never forget.
I saw the meme. Yeah, I can give it a miss.
Give it a miss. What I would say is, in this case, come up with your own sets of punishment dice, right? either that or Ian recommends a chart where you roll on it and like a crit fail table.
Yep.
Right? Technically, those aren't a rule in 5th edition, and I know if Gabe is listening, he's clawing out his ears right now because I know how much he hates critical failure. But I'd say this would be the one for the history books type of thing, not something you would use all the time.
Parker's a naughty boy.
But it can be weird things like it doesn't have to be super naughty, but like go out and give somebody, you reach over to shove the guy and you give him a hug, or you go to push the guy over and you end up in a very awkward position. You don't have to go so far as to make it super nasty, but I think I like comedy in my games, and I'm very loose with that sort of stuff.
The monk attempts to strike the orc, but instead gently caresses his cheek. The orc feels uncomfortable.
See, stuff like that I think is really good.
Actually saw a webcomic that kind of went like this once, and like the thing was there was one player in the party who was the last guy left standing.
Didn't they end up like?
And later the orc horse coming out and goes, you know what? I'm going to roll intimidate. Rolls on that one, and his character yells, "Come out, you big beautiful beast!"
That's funny.
Guy like, what? Okay, I then go, well, you know what? I'm going to subdue.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
You know what? That didn't work out very well. Since the marriage doesn't rolling bad, I'm going to roll a seduction check. Not 20.
Nice. Ryan says Monk uses explosive nipple twist. So when we say naughty, yes, and apparently Alan might already have some. You can make it work, and you can make it fun. The laugh out loud mechanic behind nipple twist, quivering palm. So this is something that is totally meant to be funny and meant to be interesting, and it doesn't have to have any mechanical benefits. It's just something that's interesting that could really add a little bit of variety. And I think for those moments where combat really begins to slow the game down, this would be a great thing to toss in there unexpectedly. Because imagine if you're all just sitting around a table, round fucking 7, and it's my turn yet. Oh, I rolled a 1. Roll some dice. As you begin to thrust him with your blade, he parries your blow, and you spin around, ending with your sword shoved between his legs, and you're bent over him. I hope that would wake everybody up in an instant. And that's really kind of what I was going for with this kind of a shock and awe thing, where when you get to those slow moments, you can toss this in there to catch everybody off guard. And plus, I thought it was funny as hell.
This is what it looks like. It's really is not what it looks like.
Ryan says to say it slower, baby. Okay, that'll do it for our DM tip. What the fuck was it?
Spice up your game.
Yeah. Spice up your life, every boy and every girl. Spice up your life. Shake it to the left if you're having a good time. Shake it to... Sorry. And our last tip is our player tip. Don't be a dick. And our player tip of the podcast is I fucking hate you both.
We just did it.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't good enough.
Nothing's good
We
enough for
didn't
you.
say we're doing it again.
And our player tip of the podcast is
Don't be a dick. There we go.
And you can avoid dickitude by, when you're on a long break in between your game sessions, write a short journal entry in your character's voice to help you get closer to your character. Not only will it help you better immerse you in your character, but when the group next meets at your table, it's a good reminder of... Wow, I totally slaughtered what that says. It will only help to better immerse you and your group at the next time you're at the table. Wow, I totally didn't type that right.
I have went forward on this long, weary journey for many months now. Dip, 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 dip.
Yeah, for you guys, I just found the comic Ian was talking about the bad rolls, and I put it up on the Patreon.
Did you?
Or not Patreon, Discord.
Okay.
So if you get a chance to,
Put it on
that's pretty funny.
Put it on the Facebook page. Oh, yes. Yes.
A reference to tonight's episode. So what do you guys got a one-liner you would write in one of your characters' voices if you're writing yourself a letter?
Today, in the Dragon's Inn Tavern, Thorg ordered a steak. It was very delicious.
Nothing else happened. because he didn't care. He says it's too small on Discord. Did you try clicking on it? Because that makes it bigger. I don't know if he did. You got anything? Because I do. It's been a long, hard travel. My ass hurts very much from this damn horse. And if I don't see another horse for the rest of my life, I'll be very happy. That being said, Ian, his chewing bothers me every night. I just want to slap him in the head. I don't understand why he does it. It really pisses me off.
His jerky is
I'm
so
thinking next
salty.
time when he decides I need to disable a trap, I think I'm just going to tell him it looks clear.
You tried right-clicking on it and opening it in a new tab.
Flip it open.
Okay.
Next time you're out on the road and you feel like getting drunk, wait till you're in town. Because the last time this happened, your dumbass decided to put an arrow in upside down and you snapped your bow. Don't drink and bow.
So if you can tell just by those give you a little bit about the characters. It's not much, but it can be a good reminder to get you in character, especially if it's been a month or two. You know, because sometimes people go a long time without having a game session for their character.
Well, Alan, riding a horse saddle all day can give you a Charlie horse.
Alan says that didn't sound right. The horse makes your ass hurt.
No, I got a better one.
Have you seen how big they are?
You look open into the journal and you read through his thoughts and it says 11:18. I thought I stepped on horse shit. 11:20. It was horse shit.
Oh my god. So yeah, these can really be amazing read after a long campaign and you just have forgotten. So I can't recommend this enough, and it doesn't even have to be adventure related. It can just be some bullshit that's tied to your character's personality. You know, whether it's he's got some problem with another player, because I probably forget that after a long time that my character doesn't like yours for whatever reason. Whether it's chewing or the way he draws his blade. Or just maybe the way he talks, you know, who knows? What about you? You know, you mentioned, stepping in poo. That says a lot about your character's priorities, right? Right? So I think that'll do it for our player tip. That'll do it for our player tip. I forgot to say, and you can avoid dickitude by... Yeah, okay. So that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast. Don't be a dick. Fuck him, who cares?
We never say it a second time.
Oh, no. Well, whatever. We're changing up. Before we close out...
Just leaving me behind. Not telling me.
Before we move...
Fucktard.
Before we move on, we have one more gift to give away. Compliments of Jeff Stevens. I almost clicked the wrong button.
You walk in a wiener coat.
Shut up. Ian, who's our winner?
I don't know.
You can't see the screen.
Yeah, I forgot. Corey DLG.
Today's winner is Corey DLG. Oh, yeah.
Comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
Can we use the fucking Macarena?
You gotta take a stand.
You got a problem with Macarena, fucker?
To this music, yes.
Hey, you know what? I don't judge you, Mr. Raptor Boy.
Next time I hear this song, I expect you to rip your shirt off.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. It's
Wait,
my
that's
work
Macho
shirt.
Man.
Someone get me some penicillin.
That's funny. Shit.
You mean acid? Jump into your eyes
Yeah.
to burn out the image.
You guys should have been here during the Patron Pals where we talked about the sock. It was hilarious. 100th episode, everyone's shirtless. Only if I drop about 1,000 pounds. My tits would just sag on my keyboard and I wouldn't be able to use it.
Or you can type
Wow.
with your tits.
Boom, 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 boom.
You're not Terry Crews.
It's because we're not, Ryan. We are not wearing pants. After we're done, we have a nice long hangout session. Get it? Hang out because we're not wearing pants? Get it? So, please join. That'll do it for our show. Oh, congratulations, Corey DLG. If you enjoy the adventure, please make sure to let Jeff Stevens know. Leave him a review. Tell him what you like, what you didn't like, and let him know that Crit Academy sent you. Please join us on our next episode where we're here. Blah blah blah. Actually, I always do the closing.
It's called a kilt.
I always do the closing, so I'm going to do this one line, and then I'm going to leave the. You guys can alternate between paragraph sections, okay?
All right, then.
So please join us on our next episode where we hear feedback from you, our heroes. We will be discussing pacing of the game. Pacing is important, and this became obvious to me when I was trying to follow the rules to test something.
And back and forth, back and forth.
So we're going to be talking about that, and I'm excited.
If y'all have any feedback on Earth tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at the critacademy@gmail.com or find us on the Twitter and the Facebook at Crit Academy.
The Twitter.
You can also find us on YouTube now, too. So go over there and subscribe to our channel.
We hope you've enjoyed your experience here at the Crit Academy. If you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a hopefully 5-star review on iTunes or your platform of choice. Or just send us a message telling us how much you enjoy the show and how fucking awesome we are.
Or you can also follow us on YouTube.
Or you could just follow us on YouTube because Justin's a prick.
Also, be sure to give us a like and a share, or else.
That was good. Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com so we can help you on your your future adventures, as well as you can be entered to win cool prizes each and every week. You will find the links to our fellowship members there as well. Definitely check out we've got great blah blah blah. You can check out awesome shows like we're Crit Academy. That doesn't work. You can check out awesome shows like Interparty Conflict. Gabe and Jeff do an awesome show where they answer your questions to help you and get the most out of your tabletop RPG experience. Bar none, one of my favorite podcasts. I can't recommend it enough. Their show's a lot like our Let's Talk About Blank, but it's like the whole thing, and their answers are far more thorough than ours. As well as you can find D&D Character Labs. If you like character building, which honestly, who doesn't? They build characters every week, and they're very well fleshed out. And they argue their validity in game against each other in a battle of wits, like a couple beautiful bards.
I think the next game will be Wednesday. Is this Wednesday your playtest?
So that one's actually a continuation of another one. I will be putting up tomorrow a queue for some times for our next game. If you were part of the last group where we did the playtest, we're going to finish that playtest off because it went longer than I expected.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I'm also going to queue up another one. I will have that I should have that tomorrow with the options, and we'll try to pick a couple. Next 2 weekends, I've got free because my wife, or in the morning I got free because my wife is working, so I'm going to try to figure something out. That'll be for June. So, you can also find our links to our sponsors at the show as well. So check out all their goodie stuff. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
And I'm your other co-host, Ian.
Thanks for listening.
Keep your
I'm just waiting for you, motherfucker.
Keep Chicago.
Keep your blades sharp and spell.
Chicago.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Oh. Today's episode has been brought to you by Peregrine's Potion Pack. Oh, wait. Today's episode has been brought to you by Peregrine's Poison Pack. Please read the instructions before you apply.
To make sure you apply that shit to the right location.
Thanks,
because I
Captain.
learned what happens when you didn't.
Good shit.
Fucking Captain. Oh, man. Hey, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you guys for supporting the show and watching us. And we're sorry we ran a little late, but you're probably used to it at this point by now.
I can picture now. Okay, in order to create the poison.